Hey guys, it's Chad here from CNR Reviews. We're doing another comparison video today of the Kimber Ultra Carry 2. It's 45 is a big round versus the Smith&Wesson M&P 9 Shield. This is a 9mm. Some of you are going to just jump right off the bat and go, whoa, 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 whoa. Not comparable at all. And I'm going to say, yeah, they are comparable, because if you are maybe carrying the Kimber all the time and you're looking to get into a lighter weapon, you may be looking at a 9mm because of it being a little bit smaller, maybe a little bit thinner and stuff. And so what our goal today for the comparison is going to be is talk about features. Then we're going to talk about size comparisons, and then we're also going to talk about price, because price is super important when it comes to these guns. They're both not the cheapest ones out there, and we're gonna go over that here in just a second. Let's quickly talk about features. As you guys can tell, the Kimber Ultra Carry is a 1911, and it's a tried and true 1911. Ryan's been carrying this every single day throughout fall and winter, and now into spring. Super nice gun. It is match grade materials. You have a beautiful bull barrel. Nice stainless steel guide rod, dual spring guide rod, by the way. I mean, it is an absolutely beautiful weapon. And for basic features that comes with the weapon is you have a safety, just like all 1911s. And it will lock the slide for moving back. You also have a beaver tail safety. Now, the beaver tail safety has to be depressed to make the trigger fire. If it is not depressed, trigger doesn't do anything. So even if the safety is up, you depress it, it doesn't do anything. You have to have the safety down, ready to go. It does have combat sights. They have no dots on them, but that does not mean that this gun is not accurate. I've seen Ryan do 1 and 2 inch groupings up to 25 yards with these guns, and it is super impressive on how accurate this little gun is. It is definitely almost as accurate as the full size. It's definitely one that you want to practice with. Now, with that 45 round, you are going to experience a more intense recoil. And I don't mean as intense as it's going to snap. It's more of a push up, and it's going to push. It is something that you want to make sure that you train with this gun. It's something to get used to. If you don't like recoil, this is not the gun for you. Plain and simple. This would be a good gun for a beginner, especially if you're teaching a beginner. Let's say you want to go with the 9mm 1911s. There's some of them out there that have less recoil, but a lot of people like to have that exterior safety as a more of like a peace of mind, especially when you're new to weapons, and you're unsure if you want to trust the gun at all with the bullet chambered. So that's the Kimber. Beautiful gun, like I said. But it's pretty basic too, in the sense of you have a safety, you pull the trigger. There you go. Now the M&P has a safety as well, and it's basically supposed to mimic the 1911. You have just a very small safety though, right here. The difference being, I can click it off with my thumb. It's kind of hard to push back up with your other hand, but if I was to have a round chambered, even if the safety's up, I could still rack the slide, eject the round, or vice versa, load a round if I wanted to with the safety on. Now this gun, the reason being is that it has a really interesting trigger. There's very little take up on that trigger, and it's only a 6.5 pound trigger. Very easy to push. Now with the single action on like the Kimber, same thing. There's a reason why there's a safety. If you didn't have this safety and this was floating around in your pocket or in the holster, this trigger's like a 4 pound trigger, 4.5 pound trigger. You could easily tap this and bang. It's going off. That's why the beaver tail safety's on there as well, because they want you to intentionally put your hand on there to make it go. As far as features, takedown lever, slide lock, same as the 1911, except for the 1911's slide lock is also its takedown. The gun also has really nice combat sights. So as you can see, you have full-size 3-dot combat sights on there. Now, according to the manual, it says that the rear sight is not adjustable. They want you to instead drift the front sight. So that is something that I have not tested yet, but we will definitely be doing that to see if maybe that's the case. Let's talk about why you would carry differently with this gun than this gun. This gun is almost going to have to be in a holster because of its weight. You're talking 30 plus ounces loaded. This guy weighs 19 ounces unloaded. You're going to be around 22, 23 ounces loaded. You can pocket carry this and it still won't quite print. If you were to pocket carry this, it's going to be bulging out or bulging out of your pocket like that because it is so heavy. Part of the reason why it is so heavy, though, is you do have nice heavy-duty frame, all metal gun. The frame itself is metal, the slide is metal. This slide is metal, stainless, but you have polymer frame. So that's where you're actually you're losing a little bit of weight to that frame. Let's do some size comparisons of these guns. And what we're going to show you first is actually width. Now remember, you have to take into consideration the width of the Ultra Carry having the exterior safety. Now the exterior safety on the Smith & Wesson is going to be really close to the frame.
They're pretty comparable.
They're pretty comparable, but when you consider that safety, it then increases size. So that is something to think about. Let's do length, and how we're going to do that is we're going to match up beaver tail to beaver tail. You get that good, Ron? Mm-hmm. And there you go.
Kimber's way longer.
Kimber is way longer, and that is, like I said, beaver tail to beaver tail. And actually, I think I might even be a little bit further up on that Smith & Wesson. But it's damn near a full inch because of the beaver tail. 3/4 of an inch to a full inch. Let's go ahead and just check. Let's lay them on their sights. Let's see how tall they are. And as you can see, Smith & Wesson is significantly shorter. But when you put the extended magazine into this gun, it's going to actually almost meet what the Kimber's at. Now the Kimber has a really nice 7, or does this guy have an 8-round mag?
7. That's a 7-round Wilson Combat mag.
So as you guys can see, really nice mag. Now they do make some of the mags that actually fit even flatter with the flatter base plate. This guy has a little bit of a little buffer right there. I think Ryan really enjoys that with that magazine. Makes it a little bit comfortable. This is the flat base plate on this guy. I don't have the extended one on me at the moment, but there you go, as you guys can see. So let's go ahead and let's look at the width of the grips. You're going to see that the Kimber, again, is a lot thicker. Part of that's because Ryan has some Hogue grips on there. But you know what? It is, it's still quite a bit thicker. Now, because of that, you're going to be able to conceal carry this gun way better, way easier. It's going to print less. All right, guys. Now it comes down to the interesting part, which is price. Price of these weapons is going to vary. Ryan just crapped his pants, so I'm trying to catch my breath. But price of these guns is going to vary on both of them. The M&P, the MSRP price is going to be $449. I know Cabela's and some of the bigger box stores are asking that price as of right now for this gun. I picked this gun up from Bullseye Shooter Supply down in Tacoma, Washington for $379. I always like to round down. I always like to just go, yeah, I picked it up for $370. But it was I think a great price. $70 lower than the MSRP. Now the Kimber Ultra Carry I have seen go from
$650.
And it depends on which versions.
Yeah.
Some of them have. Now, actually, I've
seen them go up to about $1,100.
Yeah, depending on grips and stuff. But I believe this same gun with the night sights is going to be about $100 more.
Yeah, it's about $900 with, or about $800 to $900 depending on where you're buying it. For one of them with the night sights on it. They also come with a stainless, full stainless finish on them.
Sure.
They have the different. They have the Eclipse version of the Ultra Carry 2. They have a few others also that will really get up there in price. This one cost me around $650.
So there's a lot of ways that you can make this gun go a lot higher than that. And there's a lot of options to this gun. I believe the stainless steel version of this plain Jane is going to run you about $100 more, about $750 to $800. Like I said, you throw combat sights on there, night sights, something like that, it jumps $100. So this is not a cheap gun. You're talking about, well, almost $300 less to go with the M&P. Now, as of right now, the M&P doesn't have a lot of versions out. It just has this this basic style as of right now. I know they are coming out with some aftermarket parts. XS Big Dot is already contracted to make a tritium front sight for this guy, and I'm sure they'll do something with the rear. But as of right now, this is the only one you can get of the M&P 9 Shield. I'm sure there will be more in the future, but it's going to, again, price you at about $380, $370, somewhere around there. That's almost half of what this gun costs. But what are you getting for that? You're getting 9mm versus a 45. Now, the 45 round is going to be slower than the 9mm, but it is super effective because of its size and the shock that it gives. I mean, it's going to do some damage. The 9mm is going to be faster, and in some cases, it's going to penetrate a lot further than what the 45. Now, there are plus P45s out there and stuff that you can get up into really high speeds.
Yeah, but they almost penetrate too far.
Yeah, they're almost going to go through your target. They're just so powerful. You want something that's going to penetrate around 18 inches. And so this is a Spear. And is this guy Spear as well, right?
That's a Spear.
Spear. So these are Spear gold dots. As you guys can see, really nice hollow points. But there is a big difference in the round. This round's going to scare the shit out of somebody if they know that they're looking down the barrel of your gun and they can see that picture.
Oh, and you can too.
And you can see that. But this round is also effective. Don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise. There's a reason why militaries around the world and law enforcement around the world carry 9mm handguns. They are extremely deadly and they can kill. It's all about shot placement. So, in the end, let's go ahead and let's talk about just final thoughts on both these weapons. These are both good examples of subcompact guns. This one, being as heavy as it is, though, is going to have to be holstered. This guy can be pocket carried. You can pocket carry this as well, but just be prepared to print. And if you're looking in areas that you don't want to print, it's important to have a gun that's light, that's thin, and that's going to hide. So if you're in the market for something smaller, that's going to be smaller than what you have with the Ultra Carry, or maybe a Colt New Agent or something like that, I'd recommend the M&P 9 Shield. If you're trying to go up and you have something similar to this, a Ruger SR9, a Glock 26, a Car CM9, CW9, Ruger LC9, and you want to upgrade to a 45, Ultra Carry is a great suggestion. We do highly recommend it, and we thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. This is Chad from CNR Reviews. Have a good day.